my wife and we've been married for about 5 years, and in that time frame, I was able to reconnect with a friend of mine that I had made, a male friend of mine that I had made after high school and whatnot. Started to kind of hang out with him, and found out kind of through hanging out with him that his wife kind of made a pass at me, and we have been in an affair now for the last probably 8 months or so. We've obviously talked about just about everything under the sun, and I guess I'm trying to figure out, am I interested in this person, or is it just the thrill of having an affair and doing something obviously that, you're not supposed to do. And so I'm trying to figure out how to figure that out. Because, I just want a little bit of advice on how to progress forward with that.
Oh man. So let me just walk it back, and you can just tell me up or down. So you are sleeping with a great friend's wife.
Correct.
Does your friend know?
He does not.
Does your wife know?
She does not.
And so you're not calling me to ask like, oh God, I've blown up my life and my wife's life, and I've blown up one of my close buddies' lives. It's not why you're calling. You're calling to ask, is this true love or not?
I'm calling to ask because, in the time that I've chatted with this person, we've talked a lot more about the physical nature of things. And, there's been times where we've both had the idea that, our lives potentially could be better with that other person. But obviously that's not something that I don't want to jump into something, or I don't want it to technically pursue something, and then turns out it was just because of the thrill of an affair. I mean, my wife and I, we've had our struggles and our issues pre the involvement of the affair, or my friend almost called it off a few different times without that being a factor. So I think it was just kind of came across at the timing that I was the most vulnerable to accept it. But yeah.
So I guess the best thing I could tell you, or the right thing I could tell you, is you are so what it's like you're watching The Lion King. You're watching you're watching like a Disney movie in the theater, and you're watching these animals all talking to each other, and you're wondering what it would be like to talk to one of those animals too. Like, okay, your questions are so divorced from the reality with which you actually find yourself that it tells me that you've had to construct a world where this is okay, and there's a world that everything's going to be okay on the other end of this. Because if you didn't have that kind of psychological moat around what you're actually doing, you would implode, because you become somebody that you could never have imagined you would be. You're sleeping
that makes sense.
You're sleeping with one of your closest friends' wives, period. You're actively for over a year having sex with somebody that's not your wife, putting her at physical danger, putting her at grave emotional danger. I mean, like, and what you're thinking about is, man, isn't this going to be wonderful on the other side of this thing? It's kind of like watching. It's like you're in Los Angeles right now, watching your house burn down, and wondering where you're going to put the new kitchen during the rebuild.
Right.
Like, you're not absorbing reality. And so, number one, no place in this conversation are we talking about how are these feelings real or not. Not until we've looked your wife in the eye and said, I've blown our marriage up and I don't want to be with you anymore. Not until you've looked your buddy in the eye and said, I've been sleeping with your wife for a year and I'm sorry. And after the ash settles back to earth, after that conversation, those conversations, then you can ask yourself, okay, are we in a relationship? Are we going to try to build this thing and make it go and move forward together? Which the percentages on that, just the scientifically, the percentages of those relationships being successful are very, very, very low.
Right.
Because then the old bumper sticker, like, it's true. Somewhere somebody else is tired of her too, and you also, right? Like y'all just living in a fantasy world. We don't have to deal with reality. You just get to have these romantic, oh my gosh, conversations, and you get me in passion, and we get to have sex, and there's nothing anchored to it in reality, like dishes and bills, and hey, we're trying to build a life together, and I want to do this, but I want to do this. Y'all are skipping all of that. So until you anchor back into earth, any conversations y'all have are just fantasy. They're just Disney movies. They're not real. Why haven't you sat down and had that conversation with your wife yet?
So we've been obviously dealing, like I had previously stated, we had been dealing with our own, obviously, struggles.
Yeah, but you took struggle. Every marriage has struggle. I've had nightmarish struggles. You went the next step.
Right. So I haven't sat down and talked with her about it because I guess I'm kind of put it in my mind that if this marriage that I have with my wife were to potentially fail, that I didn't want this reasoning of what's going on be...
Bro, you have failed it. Like, you're the failure. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm sure she's got her own challenges. I'm not saying she's perfect, but
right.
Like, you're actively sleeping with your buddy's wife, and you're like, well, if this thing doesn't work right, it's like you're the one that's not working right in it. You get what I'm saying?
Right. No, I'm aware of that part. What I'm saying is that, like, obviously our marriage pre this had obviously its problems. We were trying to, work on those things, and I obviously made the mistake initially, and her and I, we haven't engaged in anything in a while because obviously I'm taking a step back, but it's also one of those that it's at the point where I feel like in order to build with my wife, if that's what her and I choose to do, then I need to obviously be upfront and honest with her about everything that has happened. And if I do that, then...
Bro, listen. I'm really close to compassionate for you right now. I'm frustrated with you. I'm angry with you. But I'm also compassionate because I think you have created a delusion that you live in. And I
wouldn't disagree with that.
You use these huge circular, and then we might. Listen to me so carefully. You're having sex with another man's wife, and you're going home and you're laying in your bed next to yours. You're having sex with your buddy's wife, and then y'all go have dinner together as a foursome. That is where everything has to start. You can't be sleeping with somebody else's wife and trying to see if your marriage is going to make it. That's madness, Will. Madness. And you can't be hanging out with your buddy while you're banging his wife and be like, well, I'm trying to figure out if our feelings are right or wrong. Or what are you doing, man? You get what I'm saying?
No, I get what you're saying. I think...
So, like, today needs to be the day. Today needs to be the day that you... tell your wife, we got to talk. I've been having an 8-month affair with our mutual friends. And I've blown our marriage to smithereens. Yes, we had problems. Yes, there were holes in the boat, and I detonated it. And you, being a grown man, need to say, I've already got me an apartment. I've already got me a friend's couch to crash on because I know I've blown your world up and I don't want you to have to move to. And maybe she comes back and says, well, I should probably tell you I've been sleeping with somebody else too. Maybe. Right? Maybe. Who knows? Is she having an affair too?
I would doubt it.
Okay.
Obviously, I don't know, but...
And then you ask your friend, I'm going to meet you in a diner here in Nashville, and we got to talk. Or you tell the woman you're having an affair with, hey, you got 24 hours because I got to come clean with my buddy. I've become somebody that I never dreamed I would be, and I have to stop.
I think that's where I've been struggling, because it's like I have gotten far down the road, obviously, and I think in my mind I have this delusion that there is a different path out besides going back.
There's not a way to land the plane. There is no going back, but your fantasy about how this plane lands is false too. Both are true. So there's no going back. You blew it up. The boat's gone. You and your wife might choose to go to swim to shore amid all the rubble and rebuild a new boat. That happens all the time. And I'll walk with you if that's what y'all want to do. You and this other person have a sliver, teeny tiny sliver of statistical probability that you've blown up your life, she's blown up hers, and y'all choose to build a boat together on whatever shore y'all swim to. Maybe. But you'll always wonder if she's sleeping with somebody else like she did with you, and vice versa. It's just very shaky ground to build a new thing. But it happens. But there is no then you have a hard conversation with your wife, and she's like, well, I don't really want to work on this. And you're like, that's cool. I already have a 4-bedroom, 3-bath house with somebody else. And your buddy, her husband is like, well, it didn't work out this time. That's just not how this ends, man.
Right.
And so the quicker you can re-anchor to reality, and from a place from the inside out, because, dude, you have created a verbal gymnastic studio that you just swirl around and ride the monkey bars in, but your feet never touch the ground. You've got to be able to look yourself in the mirror and say, dude, I blew my life up. Like, do you feel that?
I think, obviously,
I hear no remorse, no well.
No, I think it's one of those that I'm trying to, obviously I haven't let many people, if anybody, know about this situation, so obviously I've only ever had my opinions weigh on it. And so having, an outside source weigh in on it is obviously beneficial, but it's also making me hear things that I haven't heard, obviously. Things that are accurate, but I haven't heard because I'm not telling myself those.
Okay. You need to. After this call,
because everyone likes to think that obviously there's a good way to land, every plane in life, obviously. So, I think I have been caught up trying to figure out if it's possible to land it versus actually realizing that it's not.
What you're trying to do is to convince yourself that if this is actually love, or this is actually viable, these feelings and the excitement of sleeping with somebody that's not your wife, which, dude, I don't begrudge you that one bit. You probably feel alive every time you sneak away, every time you almost get caught and you don't. It won't surprise me at all if you felt dead in your own skin for the last 5, 6, 7 years, however long you've been with her. I get that. But you're trying to convince yourself that these feelings are somehow valid in the grand scheme of the cosmos, and that it will justify destroying your wife's life and destroying the life of your buddy. And so 2 things. Love is not a feeling. It's a choice you make every single day. It's a decision. And a marriage is a choice that 2 people make every single day of their life, man. And so whatever happens with this other person, y'all have to choose that every single day.
Right.
Except that choice is going to be anchored into styrofoam because she's capable of blowing this whole thing up at any time. And I am too. And she'll know that about you. That's why, statistically speaking, it's very unlikely that it continues. But again, it's part of this psychological construct you're trying to build. Like here, like your plane is going down and you're trying to like figure out the right way to pull the cushions off of the airplane seats so you'll land comfortably. It's not going to happen. So what I'll tell you is at the end of this thing, there's a fire. You can do a control burn right now and try, or you can just wait till the whole thing goes up in smoke, but it's going to catch fire. It's already on fire.
Yeah, I think I spent too much time dancing around and trying to figuring out how to make the fire as small as possible, when in reality, the focus should be on that the fire is happening regardless.
And I need you to internalize in your guts, your house has already burned to the ground. Hers too. They're gone. They're over. The marriage you had is over. The marriage she had is over. The little play time y'all have together is over. Y'all have to decide what we're going to build next. But bro, you've got to come back and re-anchor the ground, man. You've blown your life up, and you've blown her life up. And she's blown her life up. So I don't know a way that you're going to sleep all night. I don't know a way that you're going to have peace at all until you sit down and have a conversation with your wife. Till you let her know you got 24 hours and I got to come clean with my buddy. Because I'm not going to be this guy anymore. And there's a high statistical probability that when the smoke clears, you've got nobody. You've got no friend. You've got no girlfriend. You've got no wife. That's a high probability. And then you'll have to choose to do the next right thing amid that ash. But man, stop with the verbal gymnastics. Stop with are these feelings real? But start with, I've cheated on you. And I blew our life up. I've been doing it for almost a year now. Through the holidays, through your birthdays, I was seeing somebody else. I was sleeping with our friend. And let's start there. Hey, Joe, what's up?
Yes, sir. How are you? Thank you for taking my call.
You got it.
I appreciate it.
What's up, brother?
Nothing much. So pretty much, I found my wife in an emotional affair with my neighbor for over a year now. I found out a couple weeks ago. I looked through the call logs on the phone. I knew something was going on between the two of them. I confronted him 3 times, and I confronted her. I'm being honest with you, it was probably 2 to 3 times a day. We would consecutively argue about it. He would buy my son clothing for school and just stuff for his room, and he would cook my wife dinner a lot. And in front of me, they had nicknames, and everybody denied it. And I'm having a hard time believing her in anything she says. Her mother passed away about 2 years ago, and she was swearing on her deceased mother and our son that nothing was going on. And then when I confronted her, the blame was on my end, and things weren't good. And it's been going on for about a year. We were in couples therapy starting this January. I was unaware of everything, but I knew something was off in the marriage, and I was trying to make it better. And I can't even get away because he is at my home. He's next to me at home, and he is there when I go to the gym, at the same gym. So I can't even have an escape that way. And I'm not sure where to begin. I'm not even sure where my head is at. I can't trust anybody. And this is where I'm stuck at right now.
Yeah, dude, that's a terrifying place to be, man. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. That's okay.
It's not okay, man. It's not. You don't got to make me feel better. I'll just sit here with you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Do you have little ones?
I do. I have 1 3-year-old son.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I'm not even. I don't want to come home.
Yeah.
I literally can't get away. And she said that she broke it off with him, and our houses are so close. If I, put a hammer through the wall, you can probably see his living room. That's how, we're right next door.
Okay.
She said that she broke it off. And then about 2 weeks ago, I asked her, we were just talking, and I asked her what she had for dinner, and she said that she didn't eat, and this is something little, but it's just the fact that it happened. And she said that she didn't have dinner because she wasn't hungry because of everything going on. And then I got home. I work late, and I got home that morning, and there was food, and that was not ours. And how I know is because it was on a paper plate that was not ours in the garbage. And she wasn't honest with me again. And he keeps talking to her and saying hi. And they both said that it was nothing sexual, but I don't believe the two of them because, like I said, I confronted him 3 times about it, and my wife twice a day for 2-3 times a day for the last year. So.
Man, it's not written in a textbook somewhere what the next move is.
Yeah.
Okay.
I understand.
So I'm going to give you, with all of the time I've spent sitting with people who have had emotional affairs and full-blown sexual affairs and my personal experience, all of it.
Okay.
I would probably leave for 30 days.
Okay.
Because here's the thing, your wife is just lying to you, and you're going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to stay clear because every time you go to the safest, what should be the safest place in the world, which is your home, you're in fight or flight the entire time.
Correct. Yeah.
And every time you go to work, you're in fight or flight.
Mm-hmm.
And the other option would be, I'm going to go stay in an apartment for 30 days and we're going to put the house on the market.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to sell this house because that's the only way you're going to save your marriage.
Yeah.
And if she says, I think that's a great idea, let's do that, cool. And if she says, absolutely not, this is where we live, yada, yada, then she gets to make a choice. Do you want to fight me for this home? Or we're going to sell this home one way or the other. We're going to sell it through when the judge forces the sale of the home and we split the assets up, the equity up, or we can sell it now and try to save our marriage.
I don't mean to throw another curveball at you.
Throw them all, man. Throw them all.
So this past February of this year, we jointly filed bankruptcy. So we could sell it, but as far as buying, I'm pretty sure we can't buy it.
You're past all that.
Yeah.
Joe, your wife is sleeping with your neighbor. Period. End of story. You know that. I know that. They both know that.
Yeah, and they would FaceTime too. I forgot to mention that.
Joe, if you're done with this marriage, be done with this marriage. An important family death, bankruptcy, those are two of the most powerful stressors on a marriage.
Yes, sir.
An affair, I mean, it's the trifecta.
Yeah.
But now you're at a place where you keep coming back to drink more poison and more poison and more poison. And I haven't heard you once say, I am desperately in love with this woman and I want to try to save this marriage. I hear you pissed.
Yeah, I thought I was past the anger stage, and
no, dude, your wife's cheating on you, right? And your neighbor waves at you.
Yeah,
I'm afraid you're going to end up in jail. You know why? Because I would.
Yeah.
I don't have the strength to go through what you're doing every day.
I thought I made the right. Honestly, I thought I made the right call, staying for my son and try to work it out. But I'm angry. I can't even look at her. It's like she's trying in that aspect. But when I first found out, it was like the end of June, and I just said a divorce probably, I'm going to say like two weeks ago. Then that's when she started to change. And I'm like, well, why did it take me to say a divorce? And, I don't want to come home. I don't want to be around anybody. I'm angry. I'm upset. I can't believe anybody. I don't believe a word that she's saying. You know what I mean? Even though she could be telling the truth very well.
Here's the deal. Here's the work you have to do.
Yes, sir.
What does the path to trust look like for you? Because let's say we can't sell the house. We are stuck here in this house. It's against the law for us to sell, which is not true, but let's just make up something, okay?
Yeah.
What does trust look like? Trust looks like a no contact order.
Mhm.
Trust looks like you saying you are forbidden from coming on my property. And if you come on my property, you call my house again, you're on notice now. I'm going to file a harassment complaint.
Okay.
And your wife cuts off everything. She throws her phone in the sink and lets it, and loses all contacts and starts completely over.
Yeah.
But here's the deal, bro. She did all this stuff and he made her dinner and they had dinner together last night.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I understand.
You've heard me say this 1,000 times. Behavior is a language. She's being very clear with you.
No, I understand. Yeah.
And right now she's got a gravy train, which is you going off to work and then coming home. Does she work too?
Yeah, she works during the day, and then I work second shift from 3 to midnight.
Okay.
Yeah.
So y'all effectively never see each other, and she has 8 hours a day when she gets to spend with a man next door.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah, like the minute I leave for work, I leave the house around 2, and then that's when the calls would happen. Like,
of course.
Yeah.
Of course they would.
I guess I'm just still processing this, and I don't even know. Yeah. But
here's the deal. I'm afraid you're about to do something stupid. Will you promise me that you're not going to go to jail?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a 3-year-old son, and I can't.
Excellent.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Okay.
I don't want to make it worse for anybody.
And for whatever it's worth, during a divorce proceeding, every one of her text messages will be subpoenaed. Every one of her emails will be subpoenaed, even the deleted ones.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is on the table. Okay? Yours too.
Sure. Yes, sir.
And so there's a chance you end up with full custody here because she doesn't want to be married to you.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, she's a great mom, and I couldn't ask for a better mother that way.
Joe,
yeah.
A great mom doesn't bring another man to the house every night.
Yes, sir. And our son, like, just to bring one more incident up, like, we were painting our son's room, and we were in the middle of it, and him and I started it, and nothing was done. And the following day, she got out of work at 2. I left, and I called her around my 6:30 break time, and she said that the room was finished and done. And I didn't believe her because I know how much that takes, especially with a 3-year-old by herself. And then, I get home that next day because I get home at night, and I look at the room, and it's beautiful. Everything was cut in, all the corners, and I look on the tarp, and there was paintbrushes and rollers that I don't have. And our son consecutively says that I don't want to say names, but the neighbor, mommy, and him were all painting the room, and she obviously denies it. But this is
Joe.
Yeah, I'm just. Yeah.
You can hear it as you're saying it out loud, can't you?
Yeah.
Listen, like if we were in person, if I was sitting in Connecticut right now with you in New Haven, I was just there a few weeks ago. If I was there with you right now, I would stop the conversation and I'd give you a hug. Because I know the path it's in front of you is gnarly.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I know miracles happen, but this sounds like your marriage is over, and it sounds like now we're just waiting for somebody to be the adult and have the courage to do the next thing.
Yeah. I guess that's what I was afraid of.
I know.
But
I'm sorry. I hate it for you too.
Sorry. It's just love's a funny thing. It's like no matter how bad somebody hurts you just don't stop them.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
Of course not.
I guess that's what I'm holding on to.
And dude, if she was ready to fight and go to war for this marriage, dude, I'd be 1,000% y'all can save this marriage.
Yeah.
No question about it. I have no question about it. But everything starts with I'm going to tell you the truth. And she can't do that. And she won't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're at a place where she is teaching our son that we lie.
Yeah.
She's teaching our son that multiple men stay in this home. And by the way, dude, Joe, just so you can see this from an outsider's perspective, because I'm just a random dude in Nashville, Tennessee.
Yes, sir.
She's trying to send you a message. She's leaving trash in the trash. She's leaving rollers in the house.
Yeah.
She's not even trying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, that's true.
Like, there's a lot of what I would call infidelity gymnastics that people go through. Lots.
Yeah.
She's almost rubbing your nose in it, or less less aggressively, like letting you know this is happening. Ta-da! Right?
Yeah.
And maybe you tell her, I want you out of this house in the next week. She's got to move out.
Yeah.
Y'all figure that stuff out. But I mean, you can't continue to allow another man to come spend 8 hours a day in your home with your wife and your child.
Yeah.
And that can be that you leave and then serve the papers or sit with an attorney, or y'all go to mediation, wherever it happens in Connecticut. Every state's different. Or she packs up and goes. Although I think your fear is she's just going to go 20 yards next door.
I'm pretty sure that's, it's what's going to happen. And she told him that, she wants nothing to do with him. But, yesterday they were outside, and she took my son and herself and my son and the dog for a walk. And when she went down the street, he was staring at her. And when he got back, he said, "Hey, how are you guys?" And she's like, "Good. How are you?" And it's something little, but it's the fact that we're going through all this, and it's like my expectation is no contact, and I shouldn't even have to say that if you're willing to work with somebody. Then her defense was, "Well, we're neighbors. What am I going to say? We're going to say hi." And I'm like, "Okay, but our marriage is on the line."
Not a neighbor that you're having an affair with.
Yeah.
Right. Has she shown you the messages that she sent him that said, "We are never going to be in contact ever again. Stop contacting me, effective immediately"?
No, sir. Apparently this is all verbal on our back deck.
Exactly. Yeah. I want it in writing.
Yeah.
I want it in writing so that when you file a harassment complaint, that this man won't leave your wife alone.
Yeah.
He keeps coming over to the property line and staring at her. He keeps yelling at her, trying to say hello to her when she's trying to walk your child and the dog.
Mm-hmm.
I want it all in writing. I used to tell my college students, you have to put in writing through text message or email, do not contact me anymore, period. And once that line is crossed, then it's harassment. Now we can get involved.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay. All right.
But I don't think she's going to do it, Joe.
I'm going to have to agree with you there.
Okay. So let's get a group of people in your corner, whether that's a couple of close friends, whether that's a minister from your local church, whether that is an attorney that you're going to sit with, a mental health professional, everybody. Maybe the path right now is to go sit with an attorney because you've got a lot to untangle, whether with the bankruptcy, with child, with home equity. I don't know how any of that stuff works in Connecticut. So having a professional just to know what you're looking at here. And the whole time, I want you to spend some time with yourself in a local coffee shop or on your breaks at work or in the morning when your son is taking a nap, figuring out what is a path back to trust so that you can lay it down in front of her and say, this is what this looks like. We sell the house and we rent. Because I would rather be married to you and rebuild this marriage than own a house. Or you have to sever all contact forever and partridge in the pear tree on and on and on and on and on. And I'm going to put cameras up in the house, and if this man steps on my property, I'm going to have him a no trespass. I don't want his plates in our home, and I don't want his paint rollers in our home, and I don't want his love and affection for you and our kid in our home. It's our home, not his. But Joe, you got to stop. I mean, I know you hear it, and it's hard to even wrap your head around, oh, this is it. Like, my wife is choosing him. She's choosing dishonesty. She's choosing lying, and I'm so sorry. Call back anytime, brother. You got a long, hard road ahead of you. And listen to me, just because it's painful doesn't mean it's not right, whichever path you take. All right, James Kelly, Simone Biles real quick. What have y'all been hearing?
It's been very divisive. I mean, you're hearing that she's doing great for taking care of herself and thinking of her team, but then there's been this side that's been she's selfish and she's letting her teammates down and she's just thinking about herself. It just seems it's just everybody has an opinion on it. And it's pretty strong opinions too for something that doesn't affect them.
So here's just my rant. I'd love to hear y'all pop in. You've got the greatest gymnast of all time. And if you go back and look at some of her stuff, like she's won gold medals with broken bones in her feet. She's all kinds of injuries where she keeps going. To do the things that she does behind closed doors is hours and hours, hundreds of falls from heights onto mats and eating it and bashing your head and your arms and your elbows on poles and beams and whatever. So number one, we're going to take off the table this she's weak. That's off the table. That's absurd at a level that's so stupid. So if anybody listening has said, she's just weak, you're wrong. You're an absolute moron. You're wrong. Okay, so that's off the table. Number two, to do a flip off a high dive into a pool scares me. It's not easy, right? To do 88 flips in the air, whatever crap she's doing, and spinning and doing circles and twisters and whatever in the air. And then, by the way, if her foot hits the ground and it moves 1 inch, we're all like, "Oh, she tanked it, man." By the way, I think I saw the other day, she's the sole surviving person who's still on the team who's involved in all of that, those years of sexual assault from that evil Nasser idiot. So you're carrying the face of sexual assault survivors to the globe. You're the number one on planet Earth, and you've gone through all of these practices where your mental toughness is every second of every practice. And then, by the way, she's known in the city of Houston for showing up in the middle of the night during hurricanes and food drives, not as a celebrity, but hey, I've got time. I can throw boxes. So she's known as a person who helps her community out. You've got these other countries talking about race stuff. I mean, to say she's quote unquote mentally weak is idiot, insane, off the table. You can't have that there either, right? So now I'm left with one of the greatest athletes in my lifetime, the greatest gymnast of all time, who says, "Hey, last night I was flipping and flying around the air and I can't do it. Like, I know myself, I know my body, I know my brain. I've got to step back." I don't know how anybody eating Cheetos, sitting on their couch, I don't know how anybody like with Domino's pizza delivery knocking on the front door can sit there and go, "Oh my gosh, she hates America. She's a coward. What a wimp. She signed up for..." Dude. It's maddening. It's maddening. When somebody of her caliber, character, somebody of her caliber of mental fortitude, somebody of her caliber of professional athlete, somebody of her character who's suffered the trauma she suffered, somebody who's carrying Earth, the face of the U.S. Olympics, stands up and says, I got to step out. And by the way, turns it over to somebody who didn't make the team. And then turns around and wins a gold medal. What a great turn of events. By the way, our team is so good, I can step out. And the person who replaced her, who hadn't made the team, wins gold, right? So here's the thing. Number one, I don't know. I'll never know Simone Biles. Like, we're not going to go hang out. I don't know her. I don't know her mental health. I can't speak to that. What I can speak to is just the facts, that to call her a wimp, to call her weak, to call her mentally whatever, is absolute insanity. Absolute insanity. If you played high school sports, that you don't get to speak into Olympic athlete. If you were like a cool tight end on your football team, you don't know what it's like to carry sexual assault, race, the face of U.S. Olympics internationally during a pandemic. You don't get to speak on that stuff. And so when somebody of that caliber or any caliber says, "Hey, here's what I'm going through right now," what if we all just said, "Oh, okay," and you trusted the person talking to you? What if we just did that? It takes all of our angst out of our souls. It keeps us from poisoning ourselves, hoping Simone Biles is going to feel it. Absolute madness. Madness. And you know what? We talk about Simone Biles, James and Kelly, but it's also somebody calls in sick at work. And we're at our house or we're at the office and we're tired and we're frustrated. And we instantly go, they're not sick. Or if they had just done this and they eat like that, of course. What if we just went, oh man, I hope he gets feeling better. Or when we're driving down the road and a guy cuts us off and we're like, that guy, he just... What if we just said, man, I hope he's doing okay. If you had a negative comment about anything other than, I hope she's okay. Man. Check yourself, man. Look in the mirror. You don't have no idea. And we've got a culture that just thinks we can comment on everything, especially negatively. Just stop. I don't know. That's my thought. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, I know the least about it than probably anybody in this room. But the thing, first of all, like, you never know. There's always more behind the scenes going on than you know, and we'll never know about. And unless you're in that position, you don't know what you would do. You may have caved under the pressure a long time ago. You know, like nobody knows unless they're in that position. But everybody needing to comment on everything happening all the time is just so stupid and exhausting.
I just don't understand it. Like what? And then to see that person say, hey, I can't do this, but I'm going to go out and suck it up and in the humiliation, embarrassment, and I'm going to cheer my team on. Come on, man. You know, I just looking at something of a caliber of character that we just don't see very often, and to turn that into what a wimp or what a weak or she's going to regret this, whatever. Probably not.
And if you look at the number of previous athletes that have come out and said, man, I wish I would have had the courage to do what she was doing because I was starting to, Michael Phelps has been big out there saying, man, I almost had a breakdown. I almost lost it.
Yeah.
And they're applauding her for the courage that she had and wishing they had done that.
Right.
And, we don't have a clue what the kind of pressure they're under.
I can't even wrap my head around it. Right. I can't wrap my head around it. But I can know this. One of the ways people ask me all the time, dude, you always just look like you're just chill. Like you always just walk through life pretty light. It's because I just choose to believe people. And when they tell me they're struggling, I choose to go, man, I'm sorry. And I'm also a guy that tells myself a lot, Delony, you got to suck it up. I know you don't feel good. I know you don't feel great or whatever. You got to get your workout done. Like, I'm all about that. I love Jocko too. You got to suck it up and you got to do it. And then there comes a moment when somebody is doing somersaults in the air and they say, if I do this wrong, I'm going to land on my neck. I'm going to break my neck. I'm not in the right headspace. I got to step out. And then you go, sweet. Who's next? And then in this case, who's next went and won a gold medal. So rad, dude. So rad. So that's my thought on Simone Biles. It's just my thought on life, man. Everybody stop commenting on everything, trying to find something negative. Let's celebrate people. Let's support people. And yeah, dude, if it's you, look in your mirror, suck it up. Work hard, suck it up and work real hard. And if you can't, you can't. And then have the courage to say, I need to step back for a minute. And if she does regret this 40 years from now, it's her regret to have, not yours. Because America got their gold medal that you needed so bad. Ooh, y'all want to get in a fight? Phone usage for kids. I don't think we've ever talked about this. Phone usage for kids. What is my rules for phone usage for kids? What's yours, James?
My kid.
Ooh, that was a good.
I would have prepared for this if I'd known you were going to toss us so many questions.
All right.
Our kids don't use phones, and they won't for as long as I can help it.
Yeah.
But also, I don't want to just jump in and not have any experience and healthy boundaries with it. So, actually, that's not true. They use phones they shoot home movies all the time with our old phones. So, but they're not like on social media or on the internet or anything.
Yeah.
We let our son have a phone when he started coming home by himself because we don't have a home phone.
Yeah.
But we started with...
So $25 a month was worth the soul of your child? I could see that.
Yeah, but give and take.
Give and take.
We started with just only an old phone with no SIM card. And then when he turned, I think 15, we let him. But I am all up in it. I look through it all the time. He knows that. I'll come up and grab it when he's talking, looking, scrolling. My husband's IT, so he can't get away with much.
He can't get away with anything. Yeah. So my rule of thumb, get this. My son's in 5th grade. He came home a few weeks ago. 100% of the kids in his class not only have smartphones, they're 10. They all have these TikTok accounts, and they all are hanging out back and forth. And he discovered live that he's being left out of all this stuff. It was hard, but the hardest thing was I thought I knew what's going on. This is madness that a 10-year-old has that kind of access. So in my house, man, like I'm like James. James and I are clearly better parents than Kelly, but no phone.
To be fair, our kids aren't
kids.
as old as Kelly's yet. So
Yeah.
Come on, listeners don't
I'm a
know
teenager
that.
now. My son has no social media, and he will not for quite some time. That's not even an option.
It's just, man, the data is so clear. If you have a 10-year-old, don't let him have social media.
Even a 15-year-old, don't let him.
No, we're just in this era of digital babysitters. They're growing up being babysat by other 5th graders. It's just insane. It's insane. So I will hand them a phone if they are FaceTiming like their grandparents or an aunt or something like that. And we do have old phones like you guys have where they download books from the library, like books they can listen to, audiobooks. But other than that, they don't even ask. It's the data is so clear on how destructive this is for kids. And now we're in a world where a 12-year-old says something, texts something, and that's going to keep him from getting a job when he's 40. And I want my kids to be kids as long as they can be. This has just gotten very unforgiving, the world, overnight. And so it's just not worth the risk. We have talked about Kelly. This is awesome. I was on a ladder, and it was just me and my son was at home, and I took a step, and the ladder, I mean, it was like whoosh. I thought, oh, this is it. I'm coming down. And because I'm part ninja, I stopped it. That's not at all. It just stopped miraculously. And my son was looking at me. His eyes were really wide, and he was probably 5 or 6. And I said, if I had just fallen and gotten hurt, what would you have done? And he looked at me for a second and sprinted to his room and got an old, trashed, cracked, like plastic flip phone. And he's like, I would have called 911. And I was like, man, I'd be dead, right? So we've talked about getting a landline. We just haven't done it, but we're going to do that soon. What does redemption look like anymore? Because I feel like we're wired for small communities where you get out of step and everybody calls everybody back. Or there used to be some kind of guiding narrative. Like we all kind of believe the same-ish things regionally.
Right. Yeah.
And that's all gone. It's gone.
Oh, yeah, gone.
So the only thing you can do culturally is we just burn everybody to the ground.
You have to.
And now you have a pile of ashes everywhere.
For everybody.
For everybody.
Yeah. I think for me is that when I was at my unhealthiest, mortgaged all of my worth into the hands of these people.
Outsourced it.
Yeah. I go, y'all tell me
what my value is. That
I'm good, or by the ticket sales or my social media numbers or if my videos are, y'all tell me. They burn you to the ground. Yep. I go, I love to tell jokes. Mm-hmm. I love to do stand-up. Yep. But I cannot put it back into your hands.
Yeah.
I can't.
It's gotta be me. Yep.
Behavior aside, my redemption would be, would redemption for Michael Jordan be winning another championship, or it would be, I would like to still play basketball, but if I win or lose, I'm still worth of infinite value. I want to be the best parent. I want to be the best businessman. I want to be the best chef. Everybody goes somewhere to get their worth. Right. Everybody does. Yeah. Everybody's on this continuum somewhere. Yeah. I know somebody that likes to cook. Wherever they show up, they bring.
That's just their flex.
Bacon, and everybody goes, "We love you." You're like, all right. And we again in rehab. There was a guy Friday nights we could do whatever we wanted. Okay. But you would have to give on the weekend before we left a calendar of everything we're going to be doing. Okay. Right. This guy loved to cook. And he would all week be talking about, dude, we're going over to Jim's. Jim, we all live in these apartments. Jim's apartment. He had these spreads that were, oh, dude, what's Jim doing Friday? I can't wait. And then they said, hey, Jim.
That was his heroin.
Yes. And he would come over and everybody goes, oh, Jim, this is incredible. And we'd all be talking about it before, anticipating it, and after. That was unbelievable. And they go, hey, Jim, no more cooking. And then so you have to look yourself in the mirror now and go, oh, was I the cooking guy?
Yeah.
And that, all the way back to the beginning, the addiction, that he lived by that his whole life.
Yeah.
Because he felt some way about himself that if I don't show up with the steaks and the stuff, do the thing. And then, but do you go, man, and he would, what if it's done correctly, the rehabilitation process would be like, dude, and then it would make me cry. I'd be like, hey, Jim, do you want to come?
Yeah.
You want to hang with us?
Come hang with us. Yeah.
And
we got food.
Or you don't have to cook for us.
We want you here just because you're freaking Jim.
And that would be the first time in a lot of people's lives they've ever heard that.
That's great.
They go, wait. You're like, yeah, dude, I don't have anything.
You're good.
You cool with us?
Yeah,
we like hanging with you.
We like you just for you.
And some people go, that's like that's where
It took me 40 years to get that.
It took me, I'm 39. Same. It took me when I was there. You go, oh, so y'all know everything about me?
Yeah. And you're still here.
And y'all still want to hang?
To me, that's the most haunting question a human can ask is, if you knew everything, will you still love me?
Yeah.
And it was when my wife was like, I'm not going anywhere, and I just want you here.
I was one of 8 kids. That kind of like, maybe didn't get the attention or love that, granted, and I love my parents, and I didn't get maybe what I needed.
Right.
And I would go to church. That was the only place we would see. We were all homeschooled. We'd go to church. There was these girls that loved me. And they thought I was so funny. And I couldn't wait to like stuff I learned during the week is to get there and tell them, and they would be like, we can't wait till John's here. Like, we love John. And I went down that path until I was 35.
That's right.
I don't know if there's any other more, wherever the love is, you go to it.
Right.
And that, whether it's like, I mean, you've seen people in this town that are like influential that you've seen them verbalize something maybe like a little bit like conservative or Republican, and then they got a lot of love there, and they just been.
It just goes, like, I don't know, who are you?
They just been going down the road where the affirmation comes from. What? That's it.
Yeah.
And why would you doubt? Why would you? We're all doing that.
That's right.
You do it in a different way than I do it, or like you're a basketball coach. All you ever known is basketball, and then you're like, I'm taking the gig at the rec league because in there I'm a god.
That's right. In my house, it was like we didn't have any money growing up, and so there was this. And I remember my dad was a policeman, and then he quit and became a minister. And I remember at a young age, like, oh, if that's what the public thinks of public servants, I'm gonna go make money. Then it just kind of chased it. And I remember it was last year. Yeah. Like, this is still pretty fresh. That my wife was like, hey, like, the amount of how much I love you because of how much money you make is full.
Yeah.
Anything else is for your ego, brother. And she goes, you can go do what you want, but
just so we both know
what I want is you. And I didn't have a psychology. I didn't know what to do. She said these words and it froze me. She said, John, we have enough. And she turned and walked away. And I did not know what that meant. And that was a year in with a tough therapist downtown.
Yeah.
And it's saying like, hey, help me unpack this. And
did you go?
It goes all the way back to John's.
Hey, I don't need.
Delony's been singing and dancing.
I don't need to. You don't need a tour in 2024. Or so, I'd like to.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't coming into like, but you don't have to. I have to. No, you don't.
Yeah.
Or I
gotta have this car. No, you don't. I gotta live. My kids gotta go to that school. Otherwise, They don't.
It was Jim Carrey. I think he said, "I wish everybody could have everything for like a day to realize that it's not." Because outside of being a believer, a Christian, everybody out here, his hope is in a better tomorrow, right? Whether that's a raise or a new politician,
bigger car, bigger house,
relationship. Yep. You're hoping in a better tomorrow, right? And whatever that. And he was saying in material, I wish everybody could get it, so they could realize, oh, don't spend your whole life trying to get it, because that's not it. There's nothing up here.
In counseling, they call it the tyranny of accomplishing all your dreams, because you go with you, right?
Yeah, Or imagine being like a comedian and all you want to ever do is be on the Tonight Show. You're 20, you're working at the clubs, you send in the tape, they say no. You go to you move to LA, you go to all the meet and greets. You meet the guy. You become friends with the guy. You send him a tape. He says no. You keep going, keep working, and then it's a hypothetical story, but you're 60, and they go, you got it. And you go to Burbank in an Uber at 3:30 in the afternoon in front of a crowd that is, and you do your 4.5 minutes.
Smaller than you think.
You do your 4.5 minutes. Mm-hmm. You walk off stage, and you walk back out of that Uber, and you go, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
The first time I was ever on TV early on in my comedy career I was on Comedy Central or something. I forget the name of the show. Live at Gotham in New York City.
Okay,
And
yeah.
they called me.
Yeah.
Yeah, they called me. They go, dude, you got it. You got it. And I go, oh, awesome. And I remember calling my parents. I wrote this about the story in my book, but I call my parents and I go, hey, I'm on TV, right? Which is the biggest. And what did I think? Okay, I thought they were gonna I thought really they'd get an inflatable projector in the backyard, invite all the neighbors, right. and I never forget this, and I've since discussed this with my parents a bunch. My mom called me and said, oh, we don't have that channel.
Yeah. And that was that.
And dude, you're like, oh, I thought this is, or we're gonna fly there, or we're gonna charter a plane to whatever, or like, oh, because it was about when they didn't pick you up for your tennis match when you were 10.
I tell business leaders all the time, if he hadn't told you he's proud of you by now, that call's not coming. It's not coming. It's not coming. And so,
and he probably is.
I know he is.
Yeah. I actually know he is.
He didn't know how. He didn't have tools to say that, and that's fine.
Yeah,
he didn't have tools to say that, and that's fine.
Yeah.
And
so the win is not the redemption or whatever. Is not you finally getting him to whoever he is, or finally getting them to apologize, or finally getting the
revenge money, or whatever the thing is,
or the car, or the house, or the
last word.
Maybe the revenge is not that, or not the redemption. Sorry, not revenge is not that. It is if I don't get that,
cool,
I'll be all right.
Yeah,
I would like to, and I'd like to. You still should get up with a purpose in life to go do something or to help people. But if I don't,
but it's almost what you just said earlier. Maybe the call in life, is to be the caliber person who shows up, so that regardless of whether you can cook, whether you're the funny guy, whether you're the smart guy with all the answers, people think, I'm gonna call that guy. Come on over, and just come hang.
You come hang with us, and if you're
just because you're you.
I will say, I've come to all these realizations, or I don't even know what you call it, wherever I'm at now. My hand was forced, so I don't want to sit here and be dishonest with everybody. That go, you should.
Oh yeah,
because I didn't.
Yeah.
You should be honest with. I didn't. Now I had a chance to respond afterwards.
Right.
It's so much better to live this life of honesty or.
Gotcha.
I didn't.
Yeah.
So I can't sit here like, well, here's what
But I think you can look and say, and this is my hope for everybody who talks about, like, America's on decline and this and that. Is my wife and I sat at a table and looked at each other like this as adults and said, we're going to keep doing this. Because if we are, everything has to be different from this minute forward. And
we got to keep doing this.
Didn't have to go to Ash first. And that's my dream for folks is if you can at least think, I'm going to get on the path to redemption before it goes to Ash. I think that's possible.
Definitely possible. Definitely possible.
It's hard.
Well,
it's hard.
When everything happened to me, I go, this is rock bottom. This is rock bottom. And I never forget this. The therapist goes, no, it's not.
No, it's not. Yeah.
You decided this was enough. Like, he's like, I still have a house, a career, a family that loves me, money, my health. This is not rock bottom. Trust me, there's so deeper. There's so many more bottoms below this, including death.
Right.
That you decided, hey, this is the bottom. You decide the bottom.
Right.
And then you go, I gotta get some help, or the bottom is,
I'm done.
Until you're not on this planet anymore, you have not reached the bottom.
I won't believe this because you've talked about this in other interviews, but and I'll just leave with this: just running crisis stuff for years, sitting with police department stuff. The only way through that is
running what?
Running crisis, like helping with death notifications.
Oh, yeah,
in the
sure,
middle of the
sure.
night,
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
The only path through
Yeah.
is a midnight black sense of humor.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
dark.
Yeah.
And I can just imagine a couple of guys standing around their buddy and being like, looking over their casket and be like, "That's rock bottom."
Oh yeah, dude.
like-
I mean, but that a sense of humor
That-
is there. Of the if there's a thing in your family, you gotta go. We can all joke about everything, but the one thing you can't joke about, that's
the gold.
That's the thing that needs to be healed. When I was in treatment, and after I've been there for like a month or so, and you come in depressed at the bottom. Everybody's nobody wants to eat. Nobody just want to sleep all day. And then you start to kind of make some progress, and your family's like, "We love you," and you're like, if I can complete this, I can.
The horse likes you finally.
Yeah, the horse likes you. Yeah, you say, and then you're like, well, maybe I don't know. I probably can't ever do comedy again, but I could at least go to the golf course and go to Chick-fil-A, and you start to be like, oh, maybe. And then your agent calls, and you're like, well, once you go, oh, you kind of see the path forward, and I was starting to like feel a little bit better, start to kind of make, joke around and start to, and my buddy put his arm around me one day, and he goes, listen, I know you're doing great, and congratulations on the progress, and I really think this is amazing. I just want to let you know, just don't take suicide off the table just yet. I go, oh my God. Dude, which is like, dude.
That's a great.
It's horrible.
Friend.
It's horrific.
It's a
but
great
it's
friend.
That's the hardest I've ever laughed in my whole life.
Yes.
It's the hardest. If you say, "What's my favorite joke of all time?" and I remember exactly where I was, and he put his arm around me, and it's such the misdirection of that joke.
Course,
he goes,
yeah.
"I just want to let you know you're doing great. I just want to let you know, don't take suicide off the table just yet." Which is like. Gosh, dude, it was so therapeutic.
Yeah,
and a lot of times, who is policing the jokes is someone that was not in that conversation.
Correct. Almost always.
He said it to the guy that told it to me. I don't want to give away his name because it's confidentiality. But that guy loved me.
Of course,
I knew he did.
Right.
We were roommates.
Yes,
and we cried ourselves to sleep.
Yes,
over our current situations nightly.
Yes,
nightly. And that's all we had.
He had earned the right.
Yes. And you go, well, you can't say that, or like who, according to who?
You get to decide that.
You get to decide.
Yes.
And if I'm at my live show and I'm saying these things to my crowd, they are loving it. The transaction is here.
Yes.
You weren't there.
Right. And you don't get a 30-second clip spun out.
Yeah. Or you're like, oh, you don't understand. Or like sometimes you see
that's never funny.
It's not for you. It wasn't for you.
Right.
And that's a Republican, Democrat,
Yes,
black,
yes,
white,
yes.
rich, poor. You're like, if that you weren't the audience for this.
Yes.
And that's fine.
Yes.
You're like, oh, but there's a whole crowd dying laughing.
Right.
So
this is our moment.
You can be offended. Like I don't enjoy this comedian. Mm-hmm. You can do that. That's allowed because I'm allowed to do that. But you can't say this guy can't tell jokes.
Right.
Yeah, but
right.
Clear as a lot of people
because we're
like
having
him.
a family conversation.
Yes, yeah.
Dude, it's awesome. Hey, thanks for coming by, man.
Dude, absolutely. Come by anytime.
You're super busy.
Yeah, telling jokes. Yeah. Going to get my egos needs met.
No, you give people like me space to breathe, and that's a gift.
Well, I hope
it's a human gift.
I hope this is not a comedy podcast or whatever, but I hope that if I needed this message, so I was like, I'm made it, not the other side of it. I still got a lot of work to do, but you go, man, somebody that would hear this would be like, oh, just like before you even say the horrific things, you just like, first you think them, then you write them down. Somebody write them down and burn them, and then you got to say them to a therapist. But even saying it to a therapist is 5 steps before you even say it to a friend. This guy doesn't care about you. He's a therapist. He does not care.
Right.
If you said the most horrific things, he'd be like, huh. And he's heard it all, by the way.
Yep.
Nothing that anyone here is watching is like, dude, yeah, but my situation, I have, what you do for a living, we've heard them all.
We've heard them all.
Heard them all. And then you go, oh, you can come hang out with us.
You didn't flinch.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, well, you can come hang out with us in a contextual way that like there's people that will welcome you.
Yeah.
That's true, right? You're not alone. Yeah. And that's the message that I thought I was.
Dude, that's
alone.
awesome. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming by, dude.
Much love, brother.
See you at Zany's.
I'll come by anytime. Let's go, dude. Let's do it.
See you there. All right, let's go to Jennifer in Phoenix. Hey, Jennifer, what's going on?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Man, it must be I'm just kidding. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
Good. It's just a regular time wherever you are, so that's great. Just a regular old time. James and Kelly were making fun of me earlier about how to read a clock, and I'm not very good at it, so now I'm just, I'm trying to I'm trying to make jokes out of my discomfort. That's what I'm doing. So sorry, Jennifer, you're walking into like a room and everyone's laughing and you're like, oh, what's going on? So sorry, I just did that to you. So what's up?
Well, yeah, I bet you it's pretty earlier, but thank you for taking my question.
Of course.
I've been divorced from my ex-husband for 10 years now, and I have 2 little boys, and it's just been a struggle because it's 2 different households with different ideas of how to do things, and now that they're starting to get older and ask questions and notice things, they are being faced with some difficult subject matter, and also just trying to decide who's telling the truth, and just things that, you know, a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old shouldn't have to deal with. And, you know, as a parent, I thought, you know, after years that I would be past all this stuff, I guess.
Oh, you're just starting, Jennifer. You're just starting. I'm so sorry. Oh, man.
So I don't want things to be difficult for them, but I'm noticing patterns. It's like I've kept things very business-like between the relationship between their dad and I, just to avoid conflict. But now that they're starting to get older, they're starting to get caught in the middle of all that stuff.
Yeah. So your boys are worth conflict if they're not safe. And your boys are worth the conflict. That's what parents are for, is to go between them and pain, right? That's what parents do. Mm-hmm. So something must have happened recently, or a couple of things happened. What have you experienced recently that's precipitating this call?
Well, it's little things over the years that are constant. So I'm hearing from them about fighting going on at their dad's house. And, you know, I try not to get involved in all that stuff because I don't know what the situation is over there. And I don't want to talk bad about their dad because I want them to have a relationship with their dad. But it's comments that I know that are hurtful to them. Like saying, oh, the only reason that I married your mom was to have kids. Like, why would you say that?
Yeah.
Your kids. And just little things over the years, making negative comments about me, things that make them question themselves and their intelligence. You know, they're just being called, you know, awful names. And
give me an example.
I don't. Like my older son, he was diagnosed as a young child with ADHD. Mm-hmm. And I really believe that's just a result of all the turmoil from this situation. But he's been called stupid and been told his brain doesn't work. And I don't think that's helpful.
No, you can't do that with your kids. You absolutely can't do that with your kids, yeah. So you mentioned a second ago that there's fighting going on there. What do you mean by that?
Just
yelling, people getting pushed around. What do you mean by that?
Nasty yelling and screaming. I don't think it turned to physical things, but I know he's, you know, broken things in the house.
With them there?
So, with them there. And I know that, for me, I know that that's not okay. Mm-hmm. But legally, that's not enough, which is sad.
How do you know? Have you gone and asked?
Yes, I have.
And an attorney told you, no, that their dad can call them stupid and tell them their brain's broken and smash stuff and scream at them, and that's okay.
Well, the problem is that it's hard for me to prove that. And when I talk to the boys, they don't want to tell me the whole story a lot of times. So I'll notice that they're upset, and I'll ask. But they're very reluctant because they don't want to get their dad in trouble. And I've always told them, like, hey, you know, I'm never going to judge you or whatever. We can talk about anything. So we have a very, you know, established open communication, and they know that I'm just here to support them, you know, and whether it's school or activities or even stuff with their dad.
So
But-
let's back out for 30,000 feet, okay?
Yeah.
Let's say you guys were at a park and a mom showed up with her kid and they were playing, and your son was climbing up the ladder to go down a slide, and she ran up to him and got in his face and started saying, "What are you, stupid? What are you, an idiot? Your stupid brain broken?" There was another kid in line, and he said, "Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am, I'm sorry." And he started climbing down, and she's like, "Just stay there, you stupid idiot." What would you do?
Oh, we would leave, obviously. I wouldn't allow him to receive that kind of, but I would, have some things to say to that person.
Okay.
But
So here's the thing. Your boys have learned to protect their dad from you.
Mm-hmm.
Because you've been protecting him for a decade since your divorce. You know they're not safe over there. You know what they're living in is wild. And you've even said things to me like, I don't want to get involved. I want them to be able to be around their dad. That's important. And so in doing so, you've created a fantasy that you're trying to uphold. You're trying to keep duct tape together. And the boys are on the other end of this. And they've watched, well, it must be okay. I must need to go over here. And this must just be part of fill in the blank. And so as their mom, in a situation that you would not allow with a stranger, they desperately need you to get involved. Desperately. And if that means taking them to a play therapist who can talk with them, get them to tell her or him things that they wouldn't tell you, great. If that's a school counselor, great. If that's you calling him, saying, if you call my kid stupid again, we'll go to court. And I may lose, but then we're going to go again. And then we're going to go again. Because I'm not going to let people call my kids stupid, tell me I have a broken brain. I'm not going to let somebody smash stuff and make my 10-year-old feel so terrified in the home of someone who's supposed to love him and keep him safe. I'm not.
I guess I'm just concerned that if I start pushing on this again, which has been my experience in the past, that it's just going to make it worse. Which is something that, as their mom, I am worried about.
What do you mean you're going to make it worse?
It would just make it more stressful for them over there, that they would get in trouble.
Do you hear what you're saying?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, they need you now more than ever. And if they get in more trouble, I mean, I hear what you're saying, and that fear is real. I don't want to minimize your fear. But what I'm trying to tell you is you're their mom.
Mm-hmm.
And if by calling him and saying, do not call our son stupid. He's not. I know there's a business arrangement, all that. It's got to become a relational arrangement. Y'all are in this forever together.
Right.
Right? Is he able to have a conversation with you about this? Like if you called him and said, hey man, they're telling me that you tell them that they're stupid. Will he take it out on them?
Yeah.
What does that mean? Will he yell at them further? Will he say, well, can't believe you told your mom on me, and all that kind of nonsense?
Yeah, all of that.
I think you got to sit down with an attorney ASAP because your boys aren't safe.
Okay.
And the attorney may tell you, I'm so sorry, I can't do anything about this. I just don't think that's right. I do think your boys could go get an eval, and my guess is there's other stuff going on there. Would you believe that too?
I would suspect, yeah.
Okay. Go with your gut. Because right now what your boys are learning is some people are just mean and crazy and we just put up with it. And
right.
if nothing else, at least 2 years, 5 years, 7 years from now, there will be a track record that you can show your boys and say, I went to war for you guys. I lost every time, but I never gave up fighting for y'all.
True.
And it is okay. I tell people 24/7, 365, don't talk bad about your ex. I believe that wholeheartedly. But if one of your boys gets told they're stupid, you hold their face and you look them in the eye and say, That is not right. And I know that your daddy loves you, but you are not stupid. He should not have said that. He is wrong. They've got to have somebody in their life speaking truth into them a different way. And there's got to be a physical aspect to that. It will help a young child. It'll help them absorb it. Okay? Your kids at 10 and 12 are going to get enough mixed messages at school, on the internet. They're going to get it everywhere. They've got to have some stability. And they cannot have parents who are smashing stuff, throwing temper tantrums, screaming at them, threatening them. You can't do that. They are learning right now that this is how you treat your children. And so the longer it goes before there's some intervention from an adult who cares about them, the longer it gets embedded in them that this is how dads treat their kids. And this is how generational trauma goes on and on and on. And I hate that you're the one stuck in the middle of this. I really do. And you're their mom. You're their mom. So today I'm on the phone with the lawyer. Today I'm on the phone with the school counselor. Today I'm on the phone with a play therapist in the area that your school counselor can recommend you go talk to. Your boys will talk. They'll tell somebody, even if it's not you. And get them with the right professional care, and then you find out your options. Okay? And if you find out, I want to be as realistic as possible. If you find out, hey, I'm so sorry, there's nothing here. Dads are allowed to scream and smash stuff in front of their kids. They're allowed to call their sons stupid. They're allowed to tell their sons biological lies that their brains are broken or whatever. You've got to be hyper intentional about making sure those boys know when they come to your house, they're safe, that they are not stupid. Their brains are not broken. Daddy is not telling you the truth. And it's okay to combat lies. It really is. It's a difference between saying, your dad's a liar. It's different to say, your daddy is wrong. He is wrong, and I'm sorry. And you're playing a long game now. You're playing a 5, 10, 15, 20-year game where you're going to try to rescue your boys from an abusive dad. And my gut tells me the older they get, the bigger they get, the more they grow into a man body, that aggression is going to get more and more and more. And that means the earlier you can squash this, the better. The earlier. Go to bat for them, man. They need you. They need you, Jennifer. Ugh, hate that. Guys. Husbands, we need you, man. We need you more than ever. Gotta have you, husbands. Dads, gotta have you.